Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about the consultation that I had today for bariatric surgery. Because of the COVID-19, it was a phone call and they said that obviously they've never done that before. We were one of the first groups that did it. And so it might look a little bit different depending on when you have your consultation, but the information was the same. They said basically the difference was if it weren't for COVID-19, we would have been in a classroom with probably 10 other people, prospective patients or patients that are already in the program that are just ready for the consultation part, and each person would stand up and give their spiel. And so instead of someone standing in front of us, we got to do it on the phone. And they sent through email a slideshow presentation of what they would be talking about. So my husband and I, since we're doing this together, what we did was we used one phone to screen mirror onto our TV the slideshow presentation and the other phone to call in. And so we called in with the number and they took attendance at the beginning to make sure that we were all there. And then they started, and it was information starting from, what they're going to be covering. And then the insurance lady talked about the different things that insurance might require, and that she would be talking with each of us 24 to 48 hours after the consultation was completed to go over individually what our insurances require. And then the surgeon came on and she talked about each different kind of surgery, the risks, the good stuff, the bad stuff, all of it with each surgery. And then she concluded with, some changes that we would need to make. They also, somewhere in there, I'm not sure if it was, I think it was before the surgeon, they talked about diet, what kinds of food, how much food that we would be eating before and after surgery for the first few months, and then ongoing from there. And they also suggested, the surgeon towards the end of her thing, she talked about things that they want us to do now from the moment we are considering surgery to start. And things like, hold on, I'm looking down at my notes real quick. Vitamin supplements was a big one, and there was like 5 or 6 different things that they wanted us to go ahead and start taking every single day. They want us to get 30 minutes of exercise, walking every single day, and then of course so much beverage. They want us drinking 64 ounces of sugar-free, caffeine-free, low-calorie drinks a day. So that's what my husband and I are going to start doing tomorrow, just because we don't know. Because the insurance side of it, if you've gone through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't gone through it yet, then listen up, because insurance... Anyway, so I contacted our insurance company yesterday because on the phone with someone from the hospital, they had said that there was no wait time for surgery. And I realized that that meant their hospital. They don't put anyone on a specific wait time or diet. But that's insurance. What you think about it makes no sense. But anyway, so I contacted our insurance yesterday and I said, what do we need to do to be approved for surgery? And so they gave me the list. I'm going to look here. Basically, for our insurance, our body mass index had to be greater than 40. If it was 35, then it had to be with a comorbidity, such as degenerative joint disease, hypertension, some other things that I can't pronounce, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, those types of things to be approved. It says something about, like, you have to know the risks associated with the surgery. You have to know what changes in lifestyle that you're going to have to make afterwards. But here's the big one. It says the patient must be clinically evaluated by an MD or DO, and the physician must document in the medical record the failure of non-surgical efforts to lose weight. The document must include that the patient participated in a structured, professionally supervised, physician or non-physician weight loss program for a minimum of 6 consecutive months within the last 4 years prior to the recommendation for bariatric surgery. Okay, so that one differs a lot through different insurance companies. I am in a lot of support groups, and some of the support groups talk about how they had to have 6 months of journals, food diaries, all these things that they had to do. Of course, there's those lucky few that don't need any of that stuff to get their surgery. And some have what I have, only they say within the past 2 years instead of 4 years. Fortunately, ours says 4 years because I contacted my doctor's office yesterday. Back in 2017, if you look back through this channel, you'll see I was on Saxenda, prescribed by my doctor, physically supervised by him. So I emailed, and my husband and I actually was on it together. I just started it earlier. So I emailed their office and I said, hey, is there any way that this will meet that requirement? They seem to think it will. So they emailed me back today and said, yes, that should absolutely fulfill that requirement. So I'm still not getting my hopes up. I'm still kind of waiting until the hospital, the insurance, and my doctor all communicate. And if they say yes, then it'll be great, because that means it's just a matter of getting the few other things done. Which is, the other big one is the psychological evaluation. So a contracted mental health professional must perform a psychological evaluation prior to the surgery to establish the patient's emotional stability, ability to comprehend surgery risk, and give informed consent. And then there was a lot of other stuff on there. But basically, yeah, I have to talk to a therapist and just go over a bunch of stuff, which I haven't done yet. So when I do that, I will definitely post a video. I have watched a lot of, pardon me, I'm getting a notification. I've watched a lot of other people's videos, and I've seen people that have been denied. And so I'm kind of like, worried, but hopefully not. I've got a good grasp on what needs to change with surgery. So yeah, the only thing that I am debating mildly is whether I should just go ahead and have the bypass. The sleeve has been so good for so many people, but there are those that the main thing I worry about is reflux, because I do have heartburn on occasion now, and I am concerned that it will get super bad with the sleeve. So I'm going to wait until we talk to our surgeon, which they should be scheduling that within the next 48 hours, and it will be another phone call, video conference that time with the doctor, and we'll be able to ask questions and go from that. But so basically, yeah, that was the seminar, and then they took attendance at the end to make sure that we all stayed through the whole thing. And if there was any questions, people got to ask questions that were on the phone. It was a big conference call. And then, yeah, we got off the phone. So I am just waiting to hear back from the lady who does the insurance. She's supposed to call us, and then we'll set up our appointment with the surgeon, and we'll be on our way, I hope. So hopefully this helped, pardon me, those of you out there that are either thinking about it or getting ready to go through. Now I will say, as a side note, a lot of people on the call, I think there was like 10 of us, 3 or 4 of them had already started their 6-month program, had already been in there for 3 or 4 months. So if you are in that and you haven't had this consultation thing yet, don't worry. And if you are thinking about surgery, but you're not like quite sure, go ahead and start the 6-month process, just in case your insurance, or call your insurance and say, hey, what are the requirements? Because if we had started back in, I think it was October, when our doctor first mentioned surgery, if we had started then we wouldn't have to worry right now. We wouldn't have to be waiting for information. We would already know. So anyway, all right, I will update the next step of the process once I get there. Bye. Have a great day, guys.